Hi, folks. Remember me? Um, I changed my video handle because there was already the little bubble used for childhood stuff, and what I put on here is not a child focused thing. Um, I don't think a lot of the content is stuff that children can't watch, but I just didn't want it kind of folded in with those kind of content things, as well as I kind of didn't want to promote that, and this new handle actually makes more sense to what I want to do. So let me know if it's confusing to you. I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, I'm back, and I do not know the cadence of my content. I don't know how often you're going to hear from me or how not often. I might do this all the time, who knows. But yeah, this is life, right? We all have work, we all have all the other things, and what I'm doing here is just sharing. It's not meant to be something that is profitable to me, although, definitely YouTube is an avenue for some people that way. It's not meant to sell you anything. I don't want to sell you anything. I honestly don't. I actually am annoyed with sponsorships and commercials and whatever. So I don't want to sell you anything. Let that sink in. A person on a platform that is more and more trying to sell you a belief, a style, whatever. I guess if there's anything that I'm wanting to sell you is an idea, and the idea is that you're fine. This is what normal life can look like, and you don't need to pressure yourself into a stylistic knot that's being sold to you about like a type of healthcare regimen or whatever. Some people can do that, some people love that. That's not everyone. And I would not be that person that sells you that anyway. I have enough problems just doing the very basics. So I am not going to sell you that. However, I am going to show you what I know I said normal, but there is no real normal. Everybody has their own challenges, and everybody has what their own experience and reality is like. And this is mine, and I'm just sharing it as another take, basically. So I made an outline. I'm very proud of myself. I am going to go through this outline. It's not very big. We went through the first two things I wanted to talk about today anyway. What I wanted to touch base with, I know it's New Year's, and a lot of people get really excited and really hyped up. And I'm not taking that away from anybody. It's definitely interesting because it's like the unknown of the next year and whatever. But for me, New Year's can really be any time of the year. You can at any time decide that you are going to make a change, that you want to change, that there's something that you're wanting to tweak. It doesn't have to be around New Year's that you're putting pressure on yourself to do a whole bunch of things. You could do mini changes throughout the year. You don't have to have this bang time starting line race at the beginning of the year. That's kind of silly. A lot of people that have these momentous kind of changes that they want to do, they might be gung ho at the beginning and burn out, and by February, they're pretty much fizzled out. So for New Year's resolutions, I don't want to say that I don't make any, but my resolutions are a little bit different. Um, I mean, everybody has things that they want to focus on or whatever. And that's kind of the way that I stage it. If I make New Year's resolutions, it's it's always like, for an example, when you go on a walk, you always see this one seat and bench and whatever. And you never sit in it. And you've always wondered what it's like to sit there. So sit in that seat. So it's kind of just a reminder of things that you always think about doing, but you never actually do. So that's what my New Year's res usually entails. That being said, of course, there's things that I'm wanting to work on. I'm wanting to learn more about my finances and be more checked in there. I'm wanting to be more active and whatever. But those things are, to me, not New Year's res. Those are things that I already know that I have hurdles doing that are problem areas. And I'm wanting to actively work on those areas. That's not a New Year's res. I've been doing that forever. It seems. I probably not forever, but it feels like forever. And a good example is therapy. I did a little bit of therapy last year, late last year, and I loved it. The therapist probably doesn't think that I love it, but I loved it. And I'm excited to go back this year. And I notice that there's a little bit of hesitation to change. And there's part of you, or part of me, that doesn't actually want to get better. You get very comfortable in the way that you are. So I'm excited to kind of unpack that uncomfortability. Kind of talk about whatever it is that the therapist and I have to talk about, but I'm excited about that. What else do I have here? I have a bunch of crafts that I'm wanting to do. In fact, when I was actively doing the channel, I was on a book buying ban because I wanted to read what I had owned. And I still want to do some of that. That is still the case. But what I'm going to do this year, what I'm hoping to do, is the same thing with crafts. I got so many crafts, y'all. So many. And I would enjoy them. I don't need to collect crafts that are not done up. I don't have to, like, no shade to the people that like to collect things. I am just not one of those people. Like, if I get a craft kit or project, I don't get any kind of relief or kind of excitement with it just sitting there. that doesn't do anything to me. I like the activity of putting things together. So I'm excited to do that. Otherwise, I have actions, and how do I even start to talk about that? There are just things that I'm wanting to do. For instance, not exciting to you probably, but I'm wanting to go through my stuff and discard some stuff and donate some stuff, and whatever the case is, that is what I'm wanting to do. And there's some pieces that are in my house that I've wanted to change since I got here. And I've been in this place for almost 4 years now. And when I moved in, I just got the make do stuff. And then later, my neighbor was moving, and I got a lot of her furniture because she was moving and she was getting rid of her stuff, so it was easier to move. And so I have some of her stuff, but I don't really have my stuff. I got things to make do, stuff that will just like work, kinda, but they're not where I want to be. And so I think I'm going to get some of those things. I've looked up and down for these things in thrift stores, and I'm not finding quite what I want. So I might end up doing an IKEA thing, which I actually don't like. I like the fact that there's solid wood things around. But things just are too big for my space, or things just won't function the way I need them to function. They won't hold what I need them to hold, or they won't display things the way that I need them displayed. And so I think I might end up going the IKEA route. Not happy about that, but I'm trying. And that's what I want to say to you, is as long as you're trying, as long as you're doing something. Because here's the point, and nobody's going to tell you this. You have to tell yourself this. You are the perfect embodiment of what you've decided to put your effort in and care towards in yourself. What you have decided to spend time doing, what you've decided that you value, what you've decided that, I'm not sure what to say as an extra. Editing me here, of course I didn't mean anything associated with mental illness, because I don't think anybody does choose those things. So, of course, if that is your circumstance, that is not, you are not the embodiment of having chosen that. You did nothing wrong to have that happen and to have that be part of your experience. So I want to make that clear here. I am not talking about mental illness here. I'm talking about decisions that you actually are able to make, and how people design themselves based off of the decisions that they're able to make. Now, when you have a mental illness, we all know you don't have those decisions. I don't have those decisions. So I just want to make that clear, and we can jump back into the video. You can, within reason, of course, But you have to give yourself grace because you're changing something that was honed really well with you and your habits and time. So you have to give yourself grace that it will take a little bit of time and effort and everything to change anything. So I want to tell you that it's okay, and it doesn't have to be a New Year's res. It doesn't have to be a new year, new me. It doesn't have to be a pressure thing. It can just be small incremental changes that you make to get to a goal that you have. Because a lot of times this all or nothing mentality will get you nowhere. Because, as is my case with therapy, it's been a long time since I've been honing that sword. It's perfect. It does exactly what it needs to do. And changing that is going to be difficult. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but you are enough. We all are. We're all fallible. And yeah, I digress, but it is true. And you're not necessarily going to hear that from a person trying to sell you something. You don't need to buy that thing. You can buy that thing, but you don't have to. You are valuable without that thing. So, on my outline here, I have a list item about telling you what you can expect from this channel. I don't actually know what the answer to that is. You can expect me not to try to sell you something. Nothing on this channel is going to be a sponsored thing. So if I show you a product or whatever, it's not me trying to sell you the product. It's just me using it, or whatever the case is. I'm not tied to anything. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion on anything. You can expect snippets of life. You can expect things that if you need something of a person working on a hobby or cooking or whatever, you can do your stuff with me in the background. And sometimes, like I have my tea here, sometimes it'll just be a chit chat like right now. That's kind of where I'm wanting to be. I might talk about movies from time to time. I might talk about books from time to time. I love those things. I'm trying to figure out right now, as I'm not going to take any sponsorships. Not assuming that people will want to sponsor my channel. It's super small. And like I said before, I don't want to sell you anything. So sponsorships usually want you to sell something. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm wanting to promote things like the library and small business and stuff like that. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I don't know if that's valuable to do because it's not necessarily about that specific library. branch or that specific small business. It's just the idea of community and spaces where community can be, and the faces of our community and the businesses they run. It's more to do with that. It's not to do with them specifically. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but I do want to encourage you to go out and be part of this community that you're in and meet the people that are there, because you know what? From hearing the news and whatever, that's what's going to save you. It's not going to be politics. It's not going to be your workplace. It's not going to be status quo. And we need to kind of branch out a little bit to be able to kind of protect ourselves against change. Because when things change and you're down and out, but you're part of a community, it's possible that your community will create this safe place for you to fall. Or at least people that will check up on you, people that, you know who you are and care how you're doing. And I think we've lost that. And honestly, I think that is something that is harming us. It's not helping us. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to promote that idea. But if you have an idea, let a girl know. I I'm going to be pondering about that for a while. But that's what you can expect from this channel. I don't know if there's anything else that I can mention to you. I'm going to close by, I used to have a closing for my other videos. And honestly, it was true, but it felt awkward. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel whatever. And so I'm like, okay, you're going to be able to see whether or not I'm comfortable saying something. You're going to be able to see whether there's any kind of acting involved. Even if the subject is true, even though what I'm saying is true, having to put it together might cause a little bit of, I don't know, yeah, it would feel forced, I guess. And so I don't really know how to end these things. So let me know if there's a way that you feel works for you. I'm just going to say bye when it's the time and think about how I want to end, because I honestly don't know. So anyway, that's all I gotta do. That's all that I wanted to say. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye.